What if I told you that the wilderness you're walking through right now is not the end, but the beginning of something brand new? We often think dry seasons mean God has gone silent, but the truth is, silence can be the setup for your greatest breakthrough. Many people believe that when life feels barren, hope is gone, but that's not what God says. Have you ever noticed how some of the biggest victories come right after the hardest battles? It's almost as if pain clears the ground for a new seed of faith. The question is, will you give up in the desert, or will you trust the one who makes rivers flow in dry places? In today's prayer, you're going to discover how God turns wilderness moments into doorways of victory. You'll see how faith, hope, and prayer connect to His promises, and why your struggle may be the very sign that a new thing is about to spring forth in your life. There are moments in life when everything feels dry, silent, and almost forgotten. The heart wonders if God is still paying attention, if His promises are still real, or if hope is just slipping away. But the truth is this: faith shines brightest in the wilderness. Just like Isaiah declared, God can create a road where there seems to be no path, a river in the middle of the desert. Think about it. When you felt stuck before, didn't something unexpected open up? That job that came when you least expected, the friend who encouraged you at the right time, the prayer whispered in the night that carried you through the next day. Those weren't coincidences. They were God's promises alive in action. Hope isn't just a distant dream. It's a daily choice to see beyond the silence. For example, someone in America walking through unemployment may wonder if tomorrow holds any better news. But hope says, yes, the job is coming. A student overwhelmed with debt might believe there's no way out, but faith pushes them to apply for that scholarship, that side job, or even to start praying again. God's promises are not abstract ideas. They're anchors that remind us He is working behind the scenes. And every time someone chooses to keep believing, even with trembling hands, they are stepping closer to victory. Prayer becomes the bridge between fear and faith. When you feel overwhelmed, speaking honestly to God shifts the weight off your shoulders. Imagine a single mother in New York who ends her exhausting day by simply saying, "Lord, I can't do this alone." That prayer doesn't just echo into the air. It unlocks strength she didn't know she had. Victory often starts in secret moments, whispered prayers no one else hears. And while circumstances may not shift instantly, the person praying is already being transformed, prepared to walk into God's new thing with courage. Victory is not always about avoiding battles. It's about discovering God's presence in the middle of them. Think of a soldier who returns home not with medals, but with scars that tell a story of survival. Your own story of overcoming can inspire others too. Every trial can become a testimony. When Americans faced financial collapse in 2008, many thought it was the end. But out of the ashes, new businesses were born, new dreams were planted, and communities found strength together. God's promises don't eliminate hardship. They guarantee that hardship will never have the final word. And this is the part that keeps us leaning forward. What if the very wilderness you're walking through right now is the birthplace of your next miracle? What if the prayer you whisper tonight is the key that unlocks tomorrow's breakthrough? God's promises often arrive at the most surprising crossroads. Just when hope seems gone, He does something new. The best is still ahead, and you're not going to want to miss what's coming. That's why I encourage you. Did this sermon touch your heart? Leave an amen in the comments and help us spread this word of faith. Don't forget to subscribe and activate notifications, because the journey is just beginning. Sometimes life feels like one long night. You cry, you wait, you pray, and nothing seems to change. Yet the Bible reminds us, weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning. That's the beauty of faith. It tells us darkness is temporary. Think of people who lost everything in a storm, but still chose to rebuild. Their hope wasn't rooted in what they saw, but in what they believed would come. Even in America's toughest seasons, whether personal crises or national hardships, victory has always been tied to the courage of holding on just a little longer to God's promises. Hope isn't passive, it's active. It's the father who loses his job and still gets up every morning to search for opportunities. It's the young woman drowning in anxiety who dares to pray instead of giving in to despair. Prayer becomes fuel when life feels like an endless desert. And when people turn their worries into words before God, they discover a peace that makes no sense to the human mind. That's when hope stops being a theory and starts becoming a daily victory. Because every prayer, no matter how small, invites God's promises into our ordinary moments. Victory isn't always fireworks. It often looks like quiet endurance. Imagine a marathon runner in Boston. The crowd cheers at the finish line, but the real triumph was every mile where they chose not to quit. Life works the same way. Every time someone chooses faith over fear, hope over despair, or prayer over panic, they are winning a battle most people never see. God's promises aren't just about future blessings. They're about the strength to keep walking today. And in that hidden strength lies the seed of tomorrow's visible victory. Faith grows best in seasons that test it. Just like fire refines gold, hardship refines character. When someone faces financial struggles, health battles, or family conflicts, they have two choices: to let pain define them or to let faith reshape them. Think about the Great Depression. An entire generation of Americans learned resilience because they had no choice but to hope, pray, and believe there was more ahead. That resilience became the foundation of their future victories. God's promises were not broken then, and they're not broken now. Here's the powerful twist. What feels like delay is often preparation. The very thing you think is holding you back might be what's shaping you for greater things. Could it be that your unanswered prayer is actually God positioning you for a bigger breakthrough? That the hope you cling to in the midnight hour is what will carry you into your morning victory? Don't miss this, because in the next step, you'll see how waiting with faith can open doors you never imagined possible. The story is only getting better, and the next chapter will surprise you. Have you ever noticed how silence can feel louder than noise? When prayers go unanswered, it's easy to believe God has forgotten. Yet silence is not absence. It's often preparation. Faith teaches us to keep walking even when we don't see the road. Picture a college student in California, unsure how to pay tuition. For weeks, no scholarship, no answers, just quiet waiting. And then, suddenly, the email arrives with unexpected aid. That's what happens when hope refuses to quit. God's promises may seem delayed, but they are never denied. Victory is often hidden in the waiting season. Prayer doesn't just change circumstances, it changes perspective. Imagine a nurse in Chicago, exhausted from endless night shifts, whispering a prayer on her drive home. The job remains demanding, but her spirit feels lighter, renewed. That's the power of prayer. It turns burdens into bridges. Even when nothing around her shifts immediately, she walks in strength because faith is shaping her from the inside out. Hope doesn't ignore reality. It dares to believe reality can still bow to God's promises. That inner shift is the first step toward victory. Hope and fear often wrestle for the same space in our minds. Which one wins depends on which one we feed. Think about someone drowning in bills, wondering how to keep the lights on. Fear says, "It's over." Hope says, "Look again." Maybe it's reaching out to a church community for support. Maybe it's discovering a new side hustle online. Maybe it's simply praying for clarity. Every act of faith in these moments is a seed planted. And when the harvest comes, it looks like victory. But the truth is, victory started the day you refused to let fear have the last word. Victory rarely comes in the way we picture it. Sometimes it's dramatic, like an addict walking free after years of bondage. Other times it's subtle, like a man in Texas who finally sleeps through the night after months of crippling anxiety. God's promises show up in both big and small ways, reminding us that His plan is bigger than ours. And every testimony you hear, every story of transformation, is proof that faith still works. Prayer was the ignition, hope was the fuel, and the destination was always victory. So here's the invitation. What if the stillness you feel today is the soil where tomorrow's miracle is growing? What if the dry ground you're walking on is about to spring with rivers of refreshment? God's promises are not on pause. They're preparing to burst forth in ways you don't expect. And the beauty is, this isn't just theory. It's real. It's practical. It's personal. You'll see how in the next part, when we uncover how God uses even the hardest trials as stepping stones to something greater, you won't want to miss what comes next. Every fire you walk through leaves a mark, but it also refines you. Think of gold. Only when it's placed in the hottest flames does it shine at its purest. Faith works the same way. When you face battles that feel unbearable, God is shaping you for greater things. Take, for example, a veteran returning from war. His scars aren't signs of weakness. They're proof of survival, resilience, and victory. In the same way, your scars tell a story of hope that God's promises are still alive. Pain isn't the end. It's preparation for something extraordinary. Hope is often built in the places we least want to be. Imagine someone in Florida recovering after losing their home to a hurricane. In that wilderness moment, everything looks broken. Yet neighbors show up with meals, churches open their doors, and prayers echo across the community. That's how hope works. It multiplies even in devastation. Prayer becomes the glue that holds weary hearts together, and every act of kindness is a living reminder that God's promises are still unfolding. Victory often hides inside ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Prayer also transforms trials into testimonies. Think of a young man battling addiction in Los Angeles. At first, every step forward feels like 2 steps back. But each night, he whispers a prayer. "Lord, give me strength." Slowly, progress happens. 1 week sober, then 1 month, then 1 year. What once was shame becomes a story of redemption. That's the power of faith. It takes ashes and turns them into beauty. And when victory finally comes, it's not just personal. It inspires countless others to believe God's promises for themselves. Victory doesn't always remove the fire, but it does make you fireproof. A single mom juggling 2 jobs might not see her situation vanish overnight. But day after day, she experiences little wins. Bills paid, children fed, peace at night that only God can give. These are not small things. They're daily reminders of God's promises in action. Hope gives her the strength to keep going. Prayer keeps her heart aligned, and faith keeps her eyes on what's ahead. Her story proves that victory isn't about escaping the storm. It's about finding peace within it. And here's the truth. The fire you're facing right now may be the very furnace where your greatest breakthrough is being forged. Could it be that what looks like destruction is actually construction? That the flames are shaping you for a victory far greater than you imagined? The next step reveals how waiting with faith in these fiery seasons positions you for blessings beyond your understanding. Stay with me, because what comes next will open your eyes to how God turns even the hardest battles into stepping stones for destiny. Waiting can feel like the hardest battle of all. When days stretch into months and prayers seem unanswered, faith is tested at its core. But God's promises remind us that delay is not denial. Think about a young entrepreneur in New York who worked years before his business took off. Every rejection letter, every failed attempt, was actually preparing him for the breakthrough ahead. Hope doesn't erase the waiting. It gives meaning to it. Victory is often birthed in those hidden seasons where nothing seems to move, but everything is being aligned behind the scenes. Hope in the waiting season is like planting seeds in the ground. You can't see what's happening beneath the soil, but growth is taking place. Imagine a farmer in Kansas sowing wheat. He doesn't dig it up every day to check progress. He trusts the process. In the same way, prayer is our act of planting. Every whispered word, every tear shed, waters the soil of faith. And one day, the harvest comes. God's promises are not on pause. They are simply unfolding in their perfect time. That's when waiting turns into victory. Faith during waiting often feels like running a marathon without knowing where the finish line is. A woman waiting for a medical report. A man hoping for reconciliation with his family. A student longing for acceptance into college. All of them carry the weight of uncertainty. Yet in that tension, prayer strengthens the heart. Victory may not come in the way they pictured, but it always comes. God's promises guarantee that no night lasts forever. Hope whispers, morning is on the way, even when the darkness lingers longer than expected. Prayer in the waiting builds endurance. Picture someone training at the gym in Houston. The muscles don't grow overnight. It takes repetition, sweat, and consistency. The same is true in spiritual life. Each prayer builds unseen strength. Each act of hope pushes fear further back. And when breakthrough arrives, the person isn't just receiving a blessing. They're stronger, wiser, and prepared to carry it. Faith doesn't just bring answers. It shapes us into people who can handle the victory when it finally comes. That's the hidden power of God's promises. And here's where it gets exciting. The very delays that frustrate you today might be the divine setups for miracles tomorrow. What if your waiting is the stage God is preparing for your story to inspire thousands? What if the prayer you're holding on to is about to unlock more than you ever imagined? The next step will show how God takes every season, yes, even the ones filled with silence, fire, or tears, and transforms them into testimonies of victory. Don't walk away now, because the ending will not just surprise you, it will ignite your faith. If this message spoke to your heart, don't let it stay as just another video. Take what you've heard today and put it into practice. Every prayer you whisper, every step of faith you take, every choice to hold on to hope, these are the seeds of your tomorrow's victory. So let me ask you, what's the wilderness you're facing right now? Is it fear, financial struggle, family conflict, or maybe just the silence of waiting? How will you choose to see it today, through the eyes of despair or through the eyes of faith? Remember, God's promises are not just words on a page. They're living, breathing truths that transform ordinary lives. The same God who made a way through the Red Sea is making a way for you right now. I challenge you. Don't leave this message without doing something different. Pray again. Hope again. Believe again. Share your testimony in the comments, because your story might be the key that unlocks someone else's faith. The wilderness is not the end. It's the setup for a new beginning. So, are you ready to trust God for your breakthrough today?